good, y'all? It's your good sis Erica Vane back again with another Raising Kanan video. And as you can tell by the title, in this video we are talking about who can we trust. This season 1 of Raising Kanan, is introducing a lot of characters into the fold, and I want to break down who we need to be side-eyeing and who we think is solid. Let's get into it. Alright, y'all, so I ain't even gonna hold you. This video really was prompted by us seeing all of the romantic relationships and the romance or the romantic ideations around a relationship that really came to mind in episode 3. We really got to see everybody's partner for the most part in episode 3. And it made me wonder, like, how many of these people are going to fold, how many of these people are going to turn on a little love or whatever. And I thought it would make a great video, so here we are. Now, first up, let's start with Uncle Lulu. Uncle Lulu was feeling Jessica from the moment that he met her. Famous introduced Jessica to Lulu when, he popped up on a family dinner. They have family dinner every Wednesday night at Lamont's, and he brought his sister this time. She is in town, going to school. She's up from Baltimore, and, they kind of hit it off almost right away. The little drive-by or the fake drive-by happened that's supposed to send Rock a message, and Lulu, shields her, protects her, and that pretty much brings her all in because she never had a man try to protect her like that before. And we don't really see them again together until episode 3, where they take a quick trip to see Crown at the studio so he can deliver a little bit of product, and she starts to plug Famous, and she's getting a little bit flirty. She's doing her little network thing, and Lulu gets an attitude about it, but when they leave, she definitely reassures him, like, you don't have nothing to worry about. I'm just doing my thing, looking out for my brother, but I know who you are. I see you more than you see yourself, and I'm in this. And honestly, y'all, this might be a little bit too soon to call it, but I'm going to say that Jessica's a real one. I think that she's solid. I think that we can trust her. I think Lulu can trust her. I also am trusting Lulu's intuition and Lulu's discernment for real. Like, I think that Rock and Lulu are very good judges of character, and they're not just going to have some goofy ass people around them or, some mad disloyal people around them. I think that they know, like, their brother is all that they can handle, and he's blood, right? Like, that's the only thing that's keeping Marvin tied to everything, is like, he is actually blood. So I definitely think that Jessica's solid, and I think that she's going to turn around and be an asset to Lulu as they navigate, through life together and start to do this whole little relationship thing. I think that she's smart. I think that she sees a lot in Lulu. I think that she's going to be the person that puts the battery in his back to pursue a little bit more in music in episode 3 when they're at the studio and he's, calling out the different equipment, and he's demonstrating that he knows his way around the studio or whatever. And she's like, yo, like, you need to tap into that. Like, the drugs and all that is cute and all, but you could have real talent here, and we need to explore that. And then also, I thought it was really dope that she knew so much about Lulu without Lulu disclosing it, but not from like a little snake or snitch type of way, just from her being in tune and just being very, very intuitive. Like, it kind of feel like she's built for this life, which also makes me feel a little bit more comfortable with her, a little bit like we can trust her. So again, y'all, I'm gonna go ahead and say Jessica, we can definitely trust. All right, moving right along, we're gonna go to Symphony. Symphony is the one who is giving Rock everything that she needs every episode, multiple times an episode, y'all. Our good sis Rock is getting satisfied, and we love to see it. I ain't even gonna hold you. We love to see a woman who is in command of her business, but also getting the pleasure that she needs in this world, and the support and the intellectual conversation. For me, Symphony is hitting it out the park, which also could be a thing that puts up red flags, right? Like, he is giving off way too perfect. He is giving off, says the right things at the right time. He is giving off very secure, confident in himself, confident in his relationship, which is everything that she needs, but also coming at a time where her whole world is about to be turned upside down. So it's almost like where you get the thing that you've been waiting for or wanting or whatever at the worst moment, or like at a moment where everything else is falling apart. It makes you question it. But aside from that, y'all, I think that we can really trust Symphony. I think that Symphony is a solid dude. Like, I know that there's people talking about, he probably an undercover cop, or he a snitch, or he this or he that. Like, there's so many little Symphony conspiracy theories running around the internet, but I really do think that he's solid. I think that what you see is what you get with him. He is pursuing a degree in, a master's degree in urban planning. He knows his stuff. Like, he is intellectual. He's about his business, and it seems like he's getting deeper and deeper invested. Like, I don't feel like we're watching Rock fall alone. Like, I definitely see that he's falling for her as well. He's definitely intrigued by her as well, and there's somewhere to grow from there. Like, while Rock is sitting at the top of her business and, a force on her own, alone, I think that Symphony definitely presents himself as a force in his life and able to just hold it down. And that's what she needs. Like, Rock is a person who could never be with a guy who was doing worse than, who didn't know anything, who didn't really have anything to bring to the table. And while Symphony isn't in the game, he brings a lot to the table by way of emotional IQ, by mental stability, by intellectualism. Like, he definitely meeting her where she at, and I think that Symphony is solid. Now let's go ahead and round out the little Thomas trio significant others and go to Tony. And this is probably all of my bias, y'all. This is probably my bias because I ain't like how she was acting in episode 1. Sis was giving me very privileged white woman. She was giving me Karen vibes in episode 1. And I can't trust Tony. She moving a little bit too fast for me, even though Marvin is moving fast as well. I don't understand what is actually attracting them to each other, aside like, he is a mess up. And Tony kind of seemed like she about her business, but she also seemed a little bit too snooty. But I could also see how she could be, you know, blinded by the glitz and the showmanship that is Marvin. And honestly, y'all, I'm just gonna say I'm not seeing any type of solidness from her just yet. She seems like a completely different character in episodes 2 and 3 than she was in episode 1. And I don't know if the dog getting barbecued in the microwave is the thing that humbled her enough for it to track and make sense that she actually could get to this point that she's seeming like a cool chick in episodes 2 and 3, because episode 1 she came in hot. Like, she came in hot and like a raging bitch, just to be 100% honest. Like, she was just really giving everything that didn't need to be gave, and now all of a sudden we supposed to fall in love with the idea that she's falling for Marvin. But you know what, y'all, if it's going to be somebody not trustworthy with one of the siblings, it makes sense that it's going to be Marvin, because Marvin makes mistakes. So honestly, her getting close to Marvin is going to be an issue potentially if she is a snake in the grass, but it's going to be less of an issue than if it was that she got in with Lulu or she got in closer, because they already keep Marvin at arm's length. So she's not going to be able to do too much too soon, and hopefully they're able to find out she ain't solid. I'm gonna go ahead and throw her in the category of, yeah, Tony ain't solid, y'all. I'm getting opportunist. I'm getting she's gonna save herself before anybody else. They're running drugs through her club, and if the cops come a knocking, she's gonna throw every last one of them under the bus. And honestly, Rock should never show her face, because now Tony knows what she looks like, so she's gonna be able to name her, point her out, send people her direction as well. And I definitely think the moment any kind of pressure actually comes down on Tony, she's folding. She's completely folding. So I definitely think that we can't trust her. And I can't do this list of romance without bringing in the kids. So you know that Jukebox is kicking it with Nicole, and Nicole seems like she is in love with Jukebox. I really need a little bit more backstory on how these two met, how they came to be, how they came to fall for each other. Jukebox definitely seems like she's in, but Nicole is all in. She's trying to go to the South Side, Jamaica Queens with her. She wants to know everything there is to know about Jukebox. She's trying to get Jukebox out of this boosting life, but she accepts her for it. And I'm like, yo, she's giving Rada. She's giving solid. I think that Nicole is actually into Jukebox for Jukebox. I think Nicole is a different breed, even though she comes from a very privileged background. I'm gonna go ahead and say that I'm gonna put Nicole in a solid category, because she's been moving in every episode so far this season. Like, she really does support Jukebox in areas where it can feel like she's looking down on Jukebox or things get a little tense. She's always the first to apologize. She's always the first to reflect on her actions or her words, and that to me is the signs of a stand-up person. All right, y'all, last but certainly not least, we're gonna talk about Kanan and Davina. Woo! We have known from episode 1 that Kanan is feeling Davina and thinks that Davina is the finest girl in the hood, the flyest girl in the hood, the best girl in the hood, but she was Buck 20's girl. And honestly, y'all, that is what is throwing up red flags for me. Davina be out walking with her sister a lot, and it wasn't until I rewatched episode 3 that I was like, yo, is she just randomly walking on the block that the stash house is on with her sister? Like, nah, she casing this place. But come to find out, when I rewatched it, I actually got to see that Kanan called her over to this area, and then she starts asking questions. And I think it's something to note about the dude who's in the stash house with Kanan. He makes a comment of like, because Kanan's like, oh yeah, I told her to meet me or whatever, and he's like, yo, you don't do that. And he's like, oh, she's not in the game. Dude in the stash house is like, everybody's in the game. And to me, that is foreshadowing. That is foreshadowing, because while Davina doesn't feel like a player right now, she could definitely be somebody that comes into play later on, especially if she is still grieving leaving Buck 20, and she finds out that Kanan has something to do with it after she asked him, did he know about D-Wiz and D-Wiz killing Buck 20? And the fact that Kanan can't let it go, we're going to see some other loose threads get pulled and unraveled, and I think that she's going to wind up finding out, all because Kanan can't seem to let this thing go either. And honestly, y'all, I think that that's why we can't necessarily trust her. I know we get to see Kanan and Davina kiss at the end of episode 3, but even that kind of feels a little bit manipulative. Like, I want to feel like, yeah, she's appreciative for the groceries and now she's feeling Kanan, but she was just whipping some girls, you know what, on episode 2 because she was speaking ill of Buck 20. So she's not over Buck 20 yet. She's not out of that with Buck 20 yet. And she definitely still wants answers and could possibly want revenge for Buck 20. So I'm going to go ahead and say right now that we're going to put Davina in the category that we can't trust her. She might be a solid chick. She might be somebody from where he's from. I think that her loyalties lie elsewhere, and we're going to see that manifest as more information comes about and as this war starts to really pop off between Rock and Unique's crew. All right, y'all, that is my breakdown on who can we trust in season 1 so far of Raising Kanan. This is Powerbook 3. I'm your girl Erica Vane, breaking down Raising Kanan. This week I'm coming with new videos every single day. Be sure to hit the subscribe button so that you do not miss a video, you don't miss an update, you don't miss an upload, because again, I'm coming in hot every day, and I'm breaking down Raising Kanan in addition to a lot of other great series. If you missed any of my Raising Kanan coverage, I got my playlist link for you right here, as well as 2 suggestions for you for other series if you're into that. Let me know your comments and questions in the comment section down below. I reply to all of them, and I'm gonna see you tomorrow in my next Powerbook 3 Raising Kanan video. Bye.